Breeders' Cup Saturday, and we are back to mowing the lawn. This time it's the Breeders' Cup turf, 1.5 miles, and we get a mixture of some Euro imports and some long-distance American runners. Should be an exciting edition of the turf. This is the second to the last race on the card. It's right before the Breeders' Cup Classic, right after the distaff, and let's start with the full field of 12 with Zulu Alpha. This 6-year-old is 9 for 29, and he's another one with a long fuse, but when he gets rolling late in the stretch, he can have an impact in this race. He's already a proven grade 1, grade 2 type of horse, and really with a horse like this, it's whether he gets the trip, and maybe some of these horses just can't get the full 12 furlongs on this Saturday. Zulu Alpha is definitely the type of horse that you have to consider for your trifectas and superfectas. And you may even want to sprinkle him a little bit in that exacta spot if you're kind of going deep or have a horse you really like on the front end. Zulu Alpha can definitely spice up the exotics and make it a bigger payoff. Acclimate is a horse that's running on his home turf course. He's West Coast based, 6 for 17 lifetime. And Philip D'Amato, he seems to do well on those turf races at Santa Anita and Del Mar. He's coming off a second place finish in the prep race, the John Henry Turf Classic, and that over the years has been a strong indicator. Even though now it's a grade 2, it used to be a grade 1 race, and usually the best horses from the West Coast do run in that race. So Acclimate, 20 to 1 in the morning line. He is supplying some speed to the race, and he'll try to take them as long as he can. He cut out some pretty fast fractions on the John Henry. If he can slow it down a little bit, he could be more of an impact late in this race. United is 3 for 9. He's a 4-year-old. He's kind of one of the younger horses in this race. Flavian Pratt rides for the Man O' Mandela, and this Son of Giants Causeway comes off a third-place finish in the John Henry. Again, chasing those fast fractions. He got a little bit further behind because of those fast fractions. I think he's really going to be about 7 or 8 lengths behind in this race, and I think we're going to see more 1:11 and change for the 6 furlong call here in this race. Mount Everest is definitely one you have to consider. Aidan O'Brien sends this horse. He gets first Lasix. He's 2 for 7 on the year. He should like the distance, and I think the firm course is going to do him well, as he's been running on some softer turf courses and some more unusual turf courses. I think the American style of running, he'll get some cover in this race, and I think Mount Everest is definitely a consideration to use in this race. He's going to be my second selection behind the favorite in this race, Anthony Van Dyke. You know, this horse ran in some grade 1s earlier this year, 5 for 12 wins on the lifetime. And Ryan Moore rides. He'll take a lot of money. He's going to be my top selection. But I do think a horse like Mount Everest can pose a threat late in the lane to Anthony Van Dyke in this race. Meanwhile, Channel Cat is more of a long shot. Did upset the apple cart at 14 to 1 in the Bowling Green in a grade 2. Ran 3rd and 4th in some grade 1s. He fits on the class level. And Louis Saez is going to try to work out a trip at 15 to 1 with this mid-pack runner. Alanak ships in from Germany. The big German can run all day long. He'll be 20 to 1, and he's definitely one I'll use in the trifectas and the superfectas. He's got some class. He's ran in some grade 1 races and some grade 2 races. He also ran at Woodbine in the Canadian International, his first trip in North America. Picked up a Brisnet speed figure of 103 in that race. But Alanek is definitely a type of horse you have to consider here. Jack Sisterton has a plan with Bandua. I'm not sure what that is. He's 3 for 14 lifetime. He ran in the Shadwell. That was a little short for him at 1 mile. I like him stretching back out to the 1.5 miles. And his best races really have been at 1.25 miles. But can he get that 12 furlong, those extra 2 furlongs here in the turf going 1.5 miles? Bricks and Mortar's your big favorite. Undefeated on the year, has to go a little extra now, 12 furlongs. And I'm not sure he can do it. He's also got to ship out west. He likes to space out his races, even though he's been running all year. His races have been spaced out. He ran in January and then March and then May, a little bit of a layoff, and then closed late in the Arlington Million. He's facing more quality horses in a race like this. He's 5 for 5 this year, 10 for 12 lifetime. Bricks and Mortar, if he does win this, he definitely is your horse of the year. Irad Ortiz rides, and he's 9 to 5 on the morning line. Old Persian, another contender, won at Woodbine in his most recent race. Again, another one that's 9 for 16. He likes to win races, and he is used to carrying the weight, 126 pounds. He's a grade 1 type horse and definitely fits in this race. Arklow, Picked up a win finally the last time, been always knocking at the door this year. He's 1 for 6. He's always kind of a bridesmaid, but he finally got that win in the last race. Arklow at 12-1 with Javier Castellano in the saddle. Rounding out the field is Channel Maker. Bill Mott trains. He's always in the hunt, and this 5-year-old definitely should get the distance, and he gets a good rider in John Velasquez. Again, a race like this is really all about pace and trip. The pace setter probably going to be Bandua along with Channel Cat, possibly a horse like Mount Everest, and then meanwhile you get a horse like Acclimate can also set some fast fractions. Your closers are Zulu Alpha and maybe a horse like Alanak coming off the pace today. Bricks and Mortar's your favorite. I think he's vulnerable at the distance, and I think he faces other proven Grade 1 horses like Old Persian, like a horse like Anthony Van Dyck, who's my top selection, and Mount Everest. So that's a look at your turf. Who do you like? Can Bricks and Mortar remain undefeated on the year and close out the year? Leave a comment and also like this video. Hit subscribe. We're looking for more subscribers, and you can get notified of all the other Breeders' Cup races. We've already got previews up of the Juvenile and the Juvenile Fillies, along with the Classics still to come as we lead you in all the race previews here for Breeders' Cup 2019.